What if you can figure out how long it will take you to reach monetization on YouTube? Well, I did, and I'm not too happy with the amount of time it is going to take me. I want to share with you some very important information about the process of reaching YouTube monetization, and also a very cool new tool that is in the YouTube studio that is helping your girl get her life together in regards to me getting back into monetization status. For those of you who are new here, I have reached YouTube Partner Program twice and I got kicked out. So this will actually be my third attempt to get back into the YouTube program. So there's a lot of things that I'm analyzing and looking at to figure out, one, why do I keep landing in this position? So I'm putting my therapeutic hat on as a therapist and paying attention to my behavior patterns, but then also from the business standpoint of it, numerically figuring out what actually needs to be done to reach monetization. And so based off the numbers that I have right now, it's going to take me up to 6 years to reach monetization. So if you want to figure out what I'm doing to cut that time more than down in half, because I've done it before, and then also the very important behavior patterns that you need to look out for to make sure that you're not in the same situation, and then also how did I actually even figure this number out? Keep watching and let's get right into it. Hello, beautiful people from across the lands. My name is Tashana Nicole, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and enjoy a front row seat to my journey maturing financially, mentally, and personally, sharing real life, real growth in real time with viewers like you. And we need to get into this growth of my YouTube channel because 6 years is quite crazy. And to keep myself on task, I'm gonna set my little clock here so I am not overdoing things, but I am on a journey to reach monetization status for the third time. If you are new here, I have gotten fired twice from the YouTube Partner Program just due to my inconsistency on my channel. So this year in 2026, I have set a goal to be consistent because I've been on YouTube for 5 years, but I haven't been consistent for the 5 years. So I actually want to change my pattern of behavior. And so I originally wanted to figure out how much revenue I have lost since being out of the YouTube Partner Program. And YouTube has an amazing new tool called Ask Studio. So me and Stu, we was having a conversation. I had typed in a question I framed it in a way where I asked, like, can you calculate how much money has been lost or how much money I could gain, how much money I have gained since being in the YouTube Partner Program, and possibly how much money has been lost since now that I'm out. And YouTube Studio was like, girl, I can't tell you about the money right now because you're not in the program, so I don't have access to that data. But what I can tell you is about the cost of time it's going to take you to get back into the YouTube Partner Program. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. And so I'm going to display what YouTube Studio told me on the screen, and we're going to break this down on how I was able to calculate this number of 6 years to get back into the YouTube Partner Program. So in order to be monetized, the rule of thumb, the basic rule of thumb is you need 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers. Now, when YouTube Studio was looking at my analytics and my data, I already have over 1,000 subscribers, so it mainly focused on the watch hours. So for me, again, 4,000 watch hours to get into the program. So once you fall out of monetization, the YouTube Partner Program, the clock resets. So you have to gain a fresh 4,000 watch hours in order to get back in. So there's a lot of momentum that is lost whenever you are kicked out. So YouTube Studio looked at the current pace of my channel over the past 28 days, and these are the numbers that it gave me. So it says your current rate of earning watch time hours is 52.84 hours per 28 days. So over the past 28 days, I'm gaining about 53 hours per 28 days. So based off of that number, I'm pretty sure it multiplied it and waited till it added up to 4,000. It said your total estimate will be 2,120 days or 5.8 years to get back into YouTube monetization. Now, for all of my mathematicians out there, you may add it up and say, hey, this is actually a little bit less than 4,000. That's because my watch hours I accumulated now is a little over 1,000 hours. So technically I need about just like a little under 3,000, a little over 3,000 hours to get into the 4,000. So if you want to get down to the number, that's why maybe the numbers don't match. So yeah, it will take me up to 6 years because of the momentum that I lost, and also because the clock resets once you're out of the YouTube Partner Program. And the current rate of my channel, again, I'm producing about 52, 53 hours every 28 days that is being accumulated based off of the views and the traction on my channel right now. However, like I said, I've been down this rodeo before. I know that I really just need one video to kind of pop off and create a wave or a huge momentum that could really cut that time down 10 times, 20 times faster than the 5.8 average 6 years to reach monetization. One of the things that I am also paying attention to, which I've talked about in other episodes on this journey of me being consistent on YouTube this year. I've been on YouTube for 5 years and I haven't been consistent. So I have been doing a deep data dive, not only with the numbers, but also paying attention to my behavior patterns. As a therapist, I know that when there is a resistance or there is a procrastination, there's a deeper underlying issue. And I was trying to figure out what is going on with your girl. Like, why am I not doing the thing that I said that I want? So over looking at my 5 years of particularly my posting data, I was able to pinpoint patterns of behavior that were happening in particular times of the year. And with that information, I came up with what I am calling the Creator Cycle that you also need to keep in mind, in addition to some very important steps that we're going to get into on practical things that you need to do to be successful on YouTube. But a lot of times that get ignored is the behavioral and psychological things that you need to be paying attention to as your body is speaking to you when there is a resistance, especially from a thing that you say that you want. So let's get into what exactly the Creator Cycle is and how it showed up for me. So what is the Creator Cycle? In analyzing my posting pattern over the 5 years of being on YouTube, there were a couple of pinpoint times throughout the year that my behavior was really consistent across the board, and it showed and it ebbed and flowed on how I was showing up on YouTube. So what I found out about myself was that September, October is a very sensitive time for me, where I was not posting any videos in October across the 5 years. There was 1 year I posted 1 video in October, and I talk about why that was going on in episode 2 if you haven't watched that. So I encourage you to kind of go back and follow along in this series in order on what was actually happening with me in the background. But I did not realize that over the 5 years, October, I was not posting. It didn't matter from 2021 all the way until 2025, October was not being touched. Also, what I noticed is around November, December is when I have a spike of motivation and momentum where I'm like dumping out an alarming, like unmanageable amount of YouTube videos onto my channel that kind of spill into the beginning of the new year in January. So in analyzing that, I began to do a deep dive to kind of figure out, okay, something is happening in my brain where this pattern is showing across consistently. And that is how I came up with the Creator Cycle, looking at the behavior patterns and then also how the reward center and dopamine actually happens in the bodies. Okay, so the Creator Cycle is 8 phases. The first phase is novelty. So that is the excitement for a new thing, a new journey, something fresh, something new that you are looking forward to. And in that experience of novelty, you have what is called a dopamine spike. Now, dopamine is the hormone that is released in anticipation of something good happening. So think about you being at a restaurant and you're waiting for your meal to come, and you begin to see the waiter come with the meal that you ordered. Your brain is signaling, let you know, like, hey, a reward is about to come. We're going to eat. That hunger pain is going to go away. The food is going to taste so good in my mouth. I can't wait for this plate to arrive on my table. With YouTube, that spike or that dopamine spike of anticipation is being successful, growing your YouTube channel, reaching 1,000 subscribers, reaching monetization, getting revenue. Maybe you have, the goal of being able to pay a few bills with your YouTube earnings, or maybe even begin to become a full-time creator. There's a lot of anticipation around being a content creator, especially on YouTube. So you would do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. After you go through that novelty dopamine spike, you begin to put in a lot of effort into your channel. And part of that is recording videos. Maybe you're doing a lot of research on YouTube, binge watching a lot of videos to kind of understand how to edit, how to create, how to come up with YouTube ideas. There's a lot of mental energy that you are using, a lot of effort that you are putting forward to make your YouTube channel be successful. Then you enter into phase 4, which is the most riskiest phase, and that is the delayed reward. So after we kind of went through that novelty, we had that dopamine spike, that anticipation, we're putting in all of this effort, but we're not seeing the reward come in the time frame that we had liked. And that is not stimulating our reward center, which is designed for survival. And our brain cannot tell the difference between like actual things that we need to survive and then like social things like a YouTube channel. So our brain is picking up this saying, hey, the thing that she's been anticipating or he's been anticipating has not happened yet. This is not really looking good, right? So then you enter into that fifth phase, which is that emotional overload of the pain and agony of putting all of this effort into and you're not getting that reward. So then you go and move forward into the sixth phase where you begin to withdraw, that inconsistency or that sense of burnout is kicking in. And then after you withdraw, there is a burst of recovery, similar to what was happening to me in that November, December time. Maybe you came across a YouTube video where they talked about how I reached monetization in 30 days, or how I paid off my car with my YouTube income, or how I was able to quit my job and do YouTube full time. And you're like, you know what? Maybe I need to give this YouTube try again. Maybe there's a new technique that you learned, a new tool that you can use that's going to help your videos be more engaging. And so you have this burst of recovery. It's like, you know what? I'm going to retry this again. And then you go into the eighth phase, which is repeat. You go back into that novelty, dopamine spike, effort, delayed reward, so on and so forth. And this is what I'm calling the creator cycle, because it repeats like this. And when you are unaware or not aware of what's happening to your nervous system, you're responding and not necessarily being intentional about why you're responding in the way that you are. So now we've identified the behavior pattern. What can we do to actually combat this? And what I have been doing and what I'm talking about in my journey of being consistent this year on YouTube is that my nervous system is top priority. I have to pay attention to it, and I have to operate from a place of discipline and a place of system to make sure that I'm keeping my nervous system safe and also feeding it in a way where it knows that this process is not causing harm. This process, does bring a sense of reward, but how I'm looking at my reward has to be different. So what are we going to do to get ourselves out of that creator cycle and be able to sustain the momentum on YouTube that we need for longevity and success? The first thing we need to do is have time discipline. And this is something that I have struggled with in the past and I'm still working through now. One of the things that is really important, although we're all trying to quit our 9-to-5, the 9-to-5 structure has a very beneficial system that we need to adapt into our YouTube process or to our content creation process. And as we need to treat our YouTube creation process like a shift. Similar to how you see I have my hourglass here, I'm making sure that I'm not spending more than an hour to recording a video. And also when it comes to editing and posting, I'm not allowing it to consume my whole day or take 24 hours or a couple of days, because in the beginning of my YouTube creation process, it literally would take me days to record one video, edit a video, and post it up. Our brains cannot handle that amount of overload. Can you imagine working at your job 24 hours? And if you is working at your job 24 hours, you need to find a new job. But that is not sustainable. So when we're entering into our YouTube creation process, we can't operate in that same. So we need to set those time boundaries and restrictions. Another thing is we need to be mindful of our mental load discipline. So what does that look like? I need to realize and pay attention to my nervous system to understand how much I can do in one sitting. I have been trying to be very mindful, especially during January. I pushed out, I did double the work because I kind of, had a slow start. And my body kind of shut down on me, and I had, a low-key anxiety, moment. And that was my nervous system, kind of getting into gear and kind of remembering this process that we've been through before, and that resistance was starting to come up. So I have to be super, super intentional of paying attention to when I'm feeling anxious. So one of the things that I'm doing when I'm done creating a YouTube video, I go and do a stretch and I kind of exercise to kind of make sure that I'm moving that nervous energy out of my system and, setting myself up for success. And then also the other thing we need to keep in mind is that I have to, and it may be beneficial when it comes to analytics, I can't be like being overconsumed by the analytics. After I post a video, I am not allowed to look at my analytics until 24 hours after the video has been posted. And that's after every new video. So after every new video, which is one video a week, I'm only checking my analytics once a week, because that is going to keep me balanced and not feed into that delayed reward that's happening as you're building your YouTube channel. And then the third thing I need to do is practice financial discipline. And with this, I am setting myself up to build the consistent habit of posting on YouTube once a week. I am already seeing, I've already know or been able to calculate thanks to YouTube Studio, the time cost that it has cost me of this stop and go and being brought into the YouTube Partner Program and taken out. Once I'm able to get back into the YouTube Partner Program, YouTube Studio did let me know that it will be able to calculate that and kind of let me know the numbers, that numerical number for me. So I am interested to know like the amount of money possibly lost. So once I have that information, because I will be getting back into the YPP program, I will share that with you. But in regards to the financial discipline, the main thing that I am focusing on and the main thing that will be my reward is, did I record the video? Did I post the video? That is where I'm going to get my dopamine from. That is where I'm going to get my reward from. I cannot base the reward off of my channel growing. I cannot base the reward off of, me reaching YouTube monetization, the revenue, because I have no control over that. And what our brain enjoys is repeated systems and repetition. And so something that is more familiar and more consistent is more safe, causing us to resist less. So I know the safe thing for my nervous system is the only thing I need to be focused on and get a reward from is, did I record my video? Did I post my video? And if it's a yes, then yay. Looking at all of this information is helping me realize that disciplined creators do not necessarily, restrict themselves from the creation process, but they move with intention. They remove the friction, right? And I want to be mindful of that as a YouTube creator and as someone who will get monetized on YouTube for the third time, to be intentional about my action and to remove the friction. The less friction I have in creating my YouTube channel and growing it, the less resistance my nervous system is going to spike to pull me away, to withdraw and go into that very toxic neuro-creator cycle that has caused me to be inconsistent over the past 5 years. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know if you can relate to the neuro-creator cycle, if you can see that maybe you have similar behavior patterns like your girl. Let me know what your goals are for this year for your YouTube channel if you're a small creator like me. And we're gonna get it on and popping in the next video, where I'm actually gonna talk about how I am going to balance intentionally doing YouTube and working full time, because again, that time discipline is something that is top priority, because there are some unhealthy habits that I do need to begin to break and change, especially if I want to be intentional and keeping my nervous system balanced, to let myself know like, girl, you are safe, you are loved, and this is not, the end all be all. Just enjoy the process and the journey and just recreate one video at a time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, please remember to dream, believe, and achieve. Not too confident about that video recording. There was a lot of bloopers, and I know for me, when I am recording videos, if I have to remember scripting, it's going to mess me up. And with this video, there was like a lot of data and certain points that I wanted to hit, and so there was some things that I was kind of reading off, and if I'm not able to kind of like talk freely, it just throws me off. So I'm really not confident about this video, but it's going to go up regardless because it's done. And yeah, it is what it is. So I need to stretch immediately. Hello, beautiful people from across the land. My name is Tashana Nicole, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tashana Nicole, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tashana Nicole, and welcome to my YouTube channel.